Alright, as promised, I'm doing a video, or multiple videos here, of going over Unit 7. I'm going to try and do all of the first page, front and back, on this first video, but we'll see how it goes. So, for 1 through 3, we're writing each polynomial in standard form, and then we're going to name the polynomial by degree and number of terms. So, standard form just means we're writing these in order from largest exponent to smallest. Well, the exponent on this one here is a 1, so that's got to be written first, so 7x, and that is positive 7x. Negative 2 gets written second. The two names, the names by degree, well, the exponent of 1 makes it linear. And it's got 2 terms, so it's a binomial. So it's a linear binomial. Okay. Number 2, largest exponent is the 3, so I'm going to write that first. It's positive 2x to the third. Next is second, so it's positive 6x squared, so plus 6x squared. Negative 7 goes at the end. Largest exponent of 3 makes this cubic. And then it's got 1, 2, 3 terms, so it's a trinomial. Okay. Number 3, another part of standard form that wasn't in the first two is you got to combine your like terms. Well, my like terms here are 3x squared and x squared. Also 4x, negative 5x, and x. So 3x squared plus x squared is 4x squared. Notice when you put them together, you're doing the numbers in front. So 3 plus 1 is 4. Don't change the exponent. And then 4x minus 5x is negative 1x plus x is 0. Right? No x is left, so it's just plus 0 or just nothing. So this is exponent of 2 quadratic. And it's got 1 term, so it's a monomial. 4 through 7, we're adding or subtracting. And then we're naming again. Practice the naming. So with adding and subtracting, you are, again, just combining like terms. So x squared, 3x squared, negative 6 goes with 11. And we're adding. So 3x squared plus 3x squared is 4x squared. Negative 6 plus 11 is positive 5. There's my answer. This is a quadratic, because the exponent is 2, and it's a binomial because there's 2 terms. Next one is subtraction. I gave you a hint, or I guess not a hint, but a suggestion with subtraction, and that is to change the subtraction to addition and change every sign in the second term, in the second polynomial. Basically, I'm distributing that negative 1 into all of them. So it's going to be negative 9x to the third, positive 7x squared, and negative 3x. Nothing happens with the first one, so I'm just going to rewrite it. And now combine like terms. Negative x goes with the negative 3x. Notice I'm including the signs for each of those. So positive 7x, negative 3x, negative 9x. So x to the third plus negative 9x to the third is negative 8x to the third. 6x squared plus 7x squared would be 13x squared. Negative x and negative 3x is negative 4x. And there's my polynomial. So this one is a cubic because of the exponent of 3, trinomial because there's 3 terms. Number 6, we're adding, again, like terms, so 7x to the third. Be careful, this is not an x to the third. It does not go together, so this is the only x to the third. X squared and x squared, 4x and negative 4x. So 7x to the third does not have a like term, so I'm just going to write it down. Negative 3x squared plus 3x squared is 0, so those cancel. 4x plus negative 4x, those also cancel. I'm left with just 7x to the third. This is a cubic monomial. Number 7, subtraction. Again, I'm going to change this to addition and change all the signs in the second one. The first one doesn't change. So negative x to the third, negative 4x squared, positive 7. So 4x to the second goes with this one here. Negative x to the third is, again, by itself, so nothing combines there. Negative 6x is by itself, and then 3 goes with 7. So there's a lot of stuff going on here. I'm going to start with my biggest exponent, which is x to the third, negative x to the third. 4x squared and negative 4x squared cancel. Negative 6x is standalone, so I'm just going to write it. 3 plus 7 is 10. There you go. Exponent of 3 is cubic, and it is a trinomial. All right, multiplying monomials. So we just did adding and subtracting. Now we're going to multiply. Okay? Basically, we're just distributing. So we're distributing 5x squared in to each of those. 5 times 3 is 15. X squared times x to the third is actually x to the fifth. You add exponents there. 5x to the second times negative 2x. So 5 times negative 2 is negative 10. X squared times x is x to the third. 5 times 9 is 45, positive 45, x squared. And you're done. Can't put anything together there because the exponents are not the same. Number 9, same thing, except we have 2 variables in each term. Doesn't really change what you do. 2 times 5 is 10. A to the third and a squared is a to the fifth. B times, there's no b's there, so it's just b. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. A to the third and another a is a to the fourth. B and another b is b squared. And then 2 times 3 is 6. A to the third times there's no a's there, so it's just a to the third. B times b to the fourth is going to be b to the fifth. And we are actually done with that. I cannot put anything together there. All right, factoring out a GCF. This is just taking out the GCF. You're not factoring what's inside. All right, so first is find the GCF. If I look at this, I see that they both have an x, so I can take an x out, and I can take 4 out of both of those. So my GCF is 4x. So I'm going to divide both terms by 4x, and what I'm going to get is 8 divided by 4 is 2. X to the third, take 1 out, and I'm going to be left with x to the second. 20 divided by 4 is 5. X, take out an x, there's no x's left. So here's what I see a lot of people do. 2x squared minus 5. Not quite right. You cannot forget to write that GCF in front. So my tip for that, when you find the GCF, so like for number 11, I see that I can't take an a out because this one doesn't have an a, but I can take 5 out of all 3 of those. So my GCF is 5. I'm going to write it right here. Okay? So I'm going to divide all 3 things by 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1, and I'm left with all a to the fourth. All of those are still there. 28 squared divided by 5 is 4, but all the a's are still there, so a squared. And then 10 divided by 5 is 2 with a negative in front. I'm done with that problem. 12, the GCF on this one, I can't take anything out of the numbers, right? 6, 5, and 8, the only one they have in common is 1. But I can take 2 m's out of all of these. So I'm going to take out m squared. Again, I'm going to write it right here. Divide everything by m squared. 6 divided by 1 is just 6. There's 5 m's. I took 2 out, so I have 3 left. 5 divided by 1 is just 5. There was 4 m's. Now take 2 out, 2 left. Negative 8. And there were 2 m's. Take 2 out. There's none left. There's my answer. Okay. Last part of this video is multiplying binomials. So we can do that by foiling, and then a binomial by a trinomial, which is box method. So we got both of those going here. So should be pretty used to this by now. X times 3x is 3x squared. X times negative 4 is negative 4x. 7 times 3x is 21x. 7 times negative 4 is negative 28. Combine your like terms. You get 3x squared plus 17x minus 28. Okay. Next one, same thing. We are just foiling here. I do the box method, but I'm going to be doing the box down here, so you can see the box on 17 and 18. 5m times 2m is 10m squared. 5m times negative 1 is negative 5m. Negative 2 times 2 is negative 4m. Negative 2 times negative 1 is positive 2. Combine those, you get 10m squared minus 9m plus 2. 15, 6g times 6g is 36g squared. 6g times negative 5 is negative 30g. 5 times 6 is 30g. 5 times negative 5 is negative 25. Negative 30 plus 30 is 0, so 36g squared. You could just write 0, but I wouldn't. Minus 25. Middle term cancels. 3p minus 7 squared. You have to remember that squaring something is multiplying by itself, so 3p minus 7 times 3p minus 7. So now I'm foiling. If you write it like that, life is pretty easy. 9p squared, negative 21p, negative 21p, positive 49. Now you got to be careful here. I see a lot of people who will cancel these. They see the same number, they think, oh, cool, they cancel. But they have the same sign, so they don't cancel. They actually make double 21, so negative 42. So 9p squared, negative 42p plus 49. And now 17 and 18, which I do use the box for. You can do the box horizontally, or you can do the box vertically, which I'll do over here, just to show you that it doesn't matter. Okay, so if you do it horizontally, the binomial would have to go on the left, so 3x plus 2, and the trinomial on top, so x squared, negative 5x, positive 6. And now we just multiply. 3x times x squared is 3x to the third. 3x times negative 5x is negative 15x to the second. 3x times 16 is 18x. 2 times x squared is just 2x squared. Negative 10x and positive 12. Combine like terms. So 3x to the third doesn't have a like term. Negative 15x squared plus 2x squared is negative 13x squared. 18x minus 10x is positive 8x plus 12. Okay. If I do it vertically, not a big deal, no change other than the fact that the binomial goes on top. So x minus 3 on top and the trinomial on the side. 2x squared, positive x, negative 7. X times 2x squared is 2x to the third, negative 6x to the second, positive x to the second, negative 3x, negative 7x, positive 21. Like terms, so 2x to the third, negative 6x squared plus 1x squared is negative 5x squared. Negative 3 plus negative 7 is negative 10x plus 21. And that is the end of this video. The next video is going to cover just the front side of page 3.